Hi, Jackie Tate with Team 323 Realty One Group Mountain Desert here in gorgeous Flagstaff, Arizona. And today's driving tour, we're taking you through Pinnacle Pines. Pinnacle Pines is a very popular townhouse community, and today we're going to go take a look. So let's drive through. And then here we're going to go right into the community. Here's the front. You can see the sign there. Now this first portion, this was the original way to get in and out of the Pinnacle Pines neighborhood. They have since opened it up and there's another entrance on the other side. So that's how we're going to actually exit today. Now all of this again is HOA protected, and you have your walking paths as well. So really, really great area. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now again, this front portion, this is all of the original build. So these townhomes were originally built by, and we'll take you down, you can see down that road, and then stick with me here. We're gonna go up and around. So these were originally built by Empire, and they were built between 2006, 2007. And then we actually had a bit of a real estate crash in 2007, which put this entire community on pause for a long time. So between 2007 or 8, and then when things got picked back up again later on down the road, there were a few houses in here that sat vacant, you know, not completed, I should say. And but other than that, you still had this thriving community from this entire front portion, because this is again a really great location and the quality of the build is really fantastic. So during that downturn, Empire went out of business, but a few of the principals from Empire joined forces and started a new company called Capstone Homes. And Capstone Homes is now one of the largest builders in the Flagstaff area. So, and they've got a lot of different communities that they built over time. So again, the ones we're looking at now were built when it was still Empire. And then in the second phase, we'll show you the ones that were built by Capstone. So phase 1, Empire Builders. Phases 2 and 3 were built by Capstone, and those started, I want to say 2013. I'll make sure to put the actual year in here, but it was 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. Now, one thing that you should know about the homes in Pinnacle Pines is that there is no street parking overnight. So your parking spots are going to be the 2 in your garage. All of these homes have 2-car garages, and then the 2 in your driveway. If you have, you know, most of them do have space for 2 cars in the driveway. So that's going to be your parking. Other than that, there is no overnight parking, and there aren't any parking spots. So you could park on the street during the day. You'll see it quite frequently. See it right there. But it's just something good to note. And you'll see, you know, signs that'll say no parking on a certain side of the street, but then there's no overnight parking whatsoever. The HOA in Pinnacle Pines covers what is going to be standard in a townhouse community. So they're going to cover the exterior maintenance of the unit. They also cover your front yard landscaping. So everything that you see here on the front of the homes, this is all maintained by the HOA. But your backyard and your side yards, those are going to be up to you. They also take care of your roof, and also a blanket insurance policy is included on that as well. So when you purchase in here for your homeowner's insurance, you have to cover what's called walls in. So everything on the inside, on the interior, that's going to be all your responsibility. Here's a little fun fact here. This, if you continue behind here, so this road is Sterling, And if you continue back through in between here, these two, which actually is not a trail access, so you don't really want to do that, but right beyond that, that's all national forest, that's protected. Another fun fact is this unit right here, my husband and I actually used to own. That was our second home before we moved up to Flagstaff on a full-time basis. So, a little fun fact. And again, these are all Empire, and now we're getting into phase 2. So phase 2 is where, like I said, this is now run and built by Capstone Homes, although this is completely built out at this point. So there's no more new builds going on in here, so Capstone Homes is officially out, and the HOA is no longer maintained by the developer, but this is now in the hands of the homeowners. Few things to know restriction-wise about your HOA. Short-term rentals are allowed in here, although not the favorite of some members. So if you're going to own a property in here that you use as a short-term rental, I do want to let you know that it's super important that you show some really good respect for your neighbors here, and I'll give you a couple tips on that in just a second, but I do want you to see this. This actually goes behind. You've got some path here, and you can see all of the great forest area. Some of that forest is protected by HOA, and then beyond that, again, you've got some areas of national forest behind here, and then you have other areas on the other side where the land is privately owned. But even in the ones where the land is privately owned, you do have a really good, you really do have a good buffer of forest area that is run by the HOA itself. So again, here's another access, and that behind there is national forest, so nothing's going to get built on back there. So a couple of tips if you're going to have a short-term rental, or what's really common in the Flagstaff area, we do get a lot of second home owners or vacation home owners who do want to own a property that they're going to use personally up here, but when they're not in residence, they actually do want to go ahead and rent those out for a short-term rental. So like I said, just be a good neighbor on here. Make sure when you set up your short-term rental that you are letting your guests know about the parking restrictions. Also, you want to make sure that your guests understand the importance of, quiet period. So anything after 10 p.m., you definitely don't want parties or anything loud and obnoxious going on. So that's just really important. And then in addition, the trash you will get, so trash has to come out on trash days and go back in. And so you can only leave it overnight the night prior to pickup. And you do have to have it back in, so it has to be hidden out of sight. Most people keep them in their garages. A couple of units do have space on the side behind a fenced gate that you can do. So that's really important to note, and you want to make sure that your guests are well aware of that, because you will get dinged if they leave the trash bins out. You're going to end up with some HOA fines. So I'm going to take you back here because I want you to see this back here. So this is the space that is owned and maintained by the HOA, and it does go back a little ways, and then you've got private land back here. So just really important that you understand you're going to have a really good protection no matter what unit you buy in Pinnacle Pines in terms of views and forest, but some are a little more protected than others. So for example, on the south side, it does back to the national forest, but here on the north side, it backs to just general HOA. And then like I said, it's private beyond that. Here's another fun fact. This house right here actually sold to the original owners, and then I represented them as the seller when they sold it a couple of years ago. So I think all told in here, between my team and I, we've done quite a bit of sales in here. And Mark Tate, who is my husband and also now a member of our team, used to work for Capstone. And so he actually had a good hand in a lot of these properties in phases 2 and 3. So if you are looking to purchase or you have questions in Pinnacle Pines, like I said, my husband and I have owned several units in here, and he used to work for the builder. So you're in good hands if you give us a call. And then here on Sterling Road, kind of take you through here. So this is again still in phases, you know, the newer phases, and we actually used to own one of these on this road as well, and we bought and built it just to use it as a short-term rental. And so it had a really good success record, and we were really happy with that. This is another little cul-de-sac. So you've got a lot of units. Now there are a few units in here, very few, but you do have a few units in here that are standalone houses. And so it is a possibility in here, but that's more the unicorn than the rule. Other than that, you can see most of the builds in here. They are attached housing. Most of them are kind of duplex style where they just share the one wall, but there are several buildings in here where you have 3 units, so you do have a middle unit in here as well. So that's actually the one right over there. Oops, we just passed it that we used to own. So we come up here, and all of this, we're not going to drive you through this section here, but this section over there, that is from phase 1. But let's take you through here. These were some of the few houses. In fact, right here on the corner of Sonoma, oops, you got my little camera arm there. But anyway, those were the models for phases 2 and 3. And so now we'll come up Sonoma. You can see what they've done at the top of Sonoma here, where they do have access to the forest beyond. All right, you can see here they've kind of cleared it out. Oops. They've cleared it out, and then you've got the steps right there, so you can go ahead and get back into the forest. And then that pretty much concludes our tour of the Pinnacle Pines neighborhood. We're actually going to go out the back entrance, like I said. So this is something that was added later on down the road. They opened up this road and created this cul-de-sac here. And so this will take you out to J.W. Powell Road. And you can see this entrance is directly across the street from Pine Canyon. All right, that concludes our tour. Thanks for joining me today. And if you do have any questions about buying or selling in the Pinnacle Pines luxury townhome neighborhood, you can reach me, Jackie Tate, at 602-904-3454, or you can reach any member of Team 323 at 928-714-7244.